Actually, today I greet my viewers with our liberal message, and I hope that fight on corruption, will bring, American public, closer to economic recovery. As CNN announced new charges against allegedly corrupt congressional Democrat Charles Rangel, actually, who bought a house in Dominican Republic and was actually hiding his illegal income from bribes received from large corporations in Dominican Republic and didn't pay taxes there. I believe that he should resign, with Mr. Charles Rangel. I believe Charles Rangel is a corrupt politician who took illegally bribes from corporations in return for not raising minimum wages or selling his political will to those corporate lobbyists, neofascists who bribed him. I believe he should pay the full price, and I urge federal authorities to indict congressional Democrat Charles Rangel with corruption, taking bribes, and avoiding taxes, especially large amounts of money. And I believe that that CNN that showed Mr. Charles Rangel, that fat cat of congressional politics, lying on the beach, sleeping on the beach, with a large obese belly, and I believe that he should come clean and tell people straight, Mr. Charles Rangel, what he did. If he took bribe, he should kind of click himself, because if Fed will indict him and he'll go to jail, like Rod Blagojevich will go to jail for very long felonious time. And I believe that those politicians who cut taxes for wealthy will go to jail and will be prosecuted as prostitutes of American imperialism. Same applies to President Obama. President Obama actually taken bribe of more than $90 million. This guy has a book fee for his memoirs. He never sold in such large amounts, like millions of copies. And actually it's a bribe. And I believe that President Obama will be indicted and prosecuted on corruption charges for taking bribes. Up to $90 million, and he will follow suit of his corrupt former colleague from Illinois, Democrat, reactionary Democrat, Rod Blagojevich, who actually organized and led a racketeering group known as Friends of Rod Blagojevich, all members of which pleaded guilty in federal indictment on federal corruption and racketeering and extortion charges, and testified against Rod Blagojevich in that court trial. You can watch it at ChicagoTribune.com, ChicagoTribune.com on the internet. I believe that President Obama should actually immediately stop war in Afghanistan. Imperial bloodshed that takes about 100 lives of young American warriors every month, and wastes 30 billion of US dollars, which should be spent at hiring counselors, teachers, new teachers. President Obama shouldn't think that if he cut taxes for the wealthy, they will hire anybody. They won't hire anybody. And I was looking for work for a long time, going to those interviews, and all my experience didn't help me to find a job, because with President Obama cut taxes for the wealthy, we don't want to hire anybody. And those people actually don't want to hire, because hiring actually was impeded, because was wealthy people, they want to probably slash taxes or wage a war against the poor. And I admonish President Obama may end up as bad as former President Bill Clinton ended up, and even worse, as exactly like Rod Blagojevich, which ended up in federal penitentiary, being indicted and convicted. As Rod Blagojevich is likely to get convicted on 17 charges of corruption, as he taken $400,000 bribe from wealthy person, some unknown wealthy person, as you can watch at ChicagoTribune.com. And I believe that President Obama should immediately raise taxes and raise taxes against the wealthy, raise taxes to people who earn more than $100,000 in order to make economy work. Because if he raises taxes against the wealthy, wealthy people are likely to go to work and hire more employees in order to do more business. Right now, they don't want to have more employees to do more business because President Obama decided to cut taxes for wealthy people who make up to $250,000. And he is very wrong to do this politics and will never lead to hiring more people as well. So recently he shamelessly brought some wealthy white guy he told, who he kept quiet and was making unfounded and unconfirmed very dubious statements about that wealthy guy hiring anybody on the basis of President Obama cut his taxes. The only way you can get that kind of hire more people if you make contracts with every single businessman, so that would hire more employees in return for cutting so much in taxes. That way it might work, because if you make a real contract with tax agency, federal agency, between those employers and federal tax agency in order to so that would get tax credit for so much money in return for hiring so many employees during certain period of time, and this might be a contractual obligation between those employers and federal tax agencies like IRS, and otherwise there will be no hiring none whatsoever. So President Obama should actually stop the war and raise taxes against the wealthy people who make more than $100,000 in order to promote more hiring, and utilize contractual obligations in order to offer every single businessman, who wants to have his taxes cut, contractual agreement with IRS, to hire specified number of workers. And I believe that the only thing that work is social engineering. Otherwise, President Obama just keeps conducting old politics of President Bush, making wealthy people more wealthy, making rich people richer, by cutting taxes people who make about more than $100,000 individually, and continuing with corrupt war in Afghanistan, keeping that Bush Secretary of War, Mr. Robert Gates, same old, all his old posts. I believe President Obama has promised liberal socialism and change. There is no much change in what he's doing, cutting taxes for wealthy. And also with Ms. Schultz, congressional Democrat, he promised to cut more taxes for wealthy and make it be a Republican policy. President Obama once told that he wouldn't do he was none of a Republican policy. So he raised taxes against the wealthy, or will face impeachment and ultimate debacle of Democrats in the congressional election this November. So Democrats should actually raise those taxes against people who make more than $100,000 and utilize contractual agreements with businessmen for hiring a specified number of employees in return for federal government cutting a specialized number of taxes for those people for a specified period of time. But also contractual agreement with single individual employers. There would be no hiring, none whatsoever. We see President Obama doesn't understand much in politics. It's because he should have stopped abusing substance a long time ago. And I also believe that President Obama should stop at war and keep raising taxes against the wealthy in order to pay the government apparatus, in order to hire more teachers and police officers and special agents and federal agents if he wants to help American people. But if he wants to end up being impeached and prosecuted and convicted by the Senate, it's fine, because Democrats will do just that. Will indict and impeach. President Obama just will indict and impeach corrupt congressman Charles Harris, who became a prostitute or American imperialist who took bribes and should go to jail. And I believe the sooner congressional body get rid of Charles Rangel as corrupter, the sooner they will prove that they cannot take bribes from no corporation, no financial donation from corporation, none whatsoever. Only donation people won't exceed, from physical person, it won't exceed $1,000 is acceptable. Soviet congressmen know that if we keep taking bribes, we will go to jail. We will prosecuted and indicted by the federal government, and the corrupt sponsors will save them from jail.